Talk Retail. I'm Chris Walton.
And I'm Anne Mezzenga.
And we are here once again from FMI at the Simbe booth, where Simbe and Omni Talk are retail's single source of truth. And standing between us to give his point of view on the truth as it's happening in grocery is Coborn's president and chief operating officer, David Best. David, welcome to Omni Talk.
Thank you. Well, it's great to be here.
I'm putting
long-time listener, long-time fan.
I got through it. It's been a long couple days.
We've saved the best for last, as Chris would say.
Pun fully intended.
I know,
We did.
absolutely.
Oh my God.
David, I'm so thrilled that you're making the time to be here with us. For those who might not know you, who might not know Coborn's, just share a little bit about your background, your role, and about Coborn's.
Yeah, first of all, we all worked together at Target for many years.
Yes,
I'm
we
a
did.
Target alum, and so I spent almost 20 years there, and then 4 years at General Mills on the manufacturer side, and now I'm thrilled to be at Coborn's. And so we are a private, family-owned grocery and liquor retailer. We're actually, one of the biggest independent retailers in the U.S.
Yeah.
And so we're proud to serve the states of Minnesota, Wisconsin, North Dakota, South Dakota, Michigan, and Illinois.
Oh my gosh,
Wow.
you rattled
You got-
those off so easily.
Not one, but both Dakotas here.
Yeah, both
I
Dakotas.
I would forget.
There's a lot happening there. So
All right, so I've known you. I think
20 years?
20 years. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think it's close to 20 years, if not exactly. But so you've had a very distinguished career. Both you mentioned Target, but you also spent some time at General Mills.
Mm-hmm.
What now? You're a regional grocer. What's the transition been like for you?
Yeah, no, it's a great question. And, first of all, what drew me to take this opportunity was just how great our team is. And I know many of your listeners maybe haven't been in one of our stores, but I'll tell you, when I do meet people who shop our stores, the one thing they talk about is really our people.
Okay.
Oh, I love your people. I love your service. And so that really, really drew me to the organization as something that really is our foundation that we're trying to build on. One of the things that got me really excited is I do think there's a lot of room to innovate in grocery, and we're working hard to try to differentiate our strategy. We got to be better than we were yesterday every single day, and that's what I love about the grocery business is we have to get better every single day, and I love the challenge of that, and I think we got a team who can do that. So.
Well, David, grocery margins, we all know, they're incredibly thin. You work for a regional grocer. What are ways that you're really trying to capture that new customer, increase basket size, increase revenue, that help you stand out from some of the larger competitors in the space?
Well, a couple things. First of all, we got to differentiate. We got to make sure
Yeah.
our offering is distinct. We all learned that at Target through the years. I'll say one way we're trying to differentiate is through taste. We got to have the best tasting product out there. Because you know what? I know Chris Walton well, and I know, if I can give Chris Walton something that tastes good, I'm going to bet.
It's a good chance I'm coming back.
That he's going to come back. That's what I'm going to bet. And so
Every day for the next 7 days.
We make 65,000 donuts every single day, and we've not changed our recipe in I think like 35 years because we have a recipe that tastes great,
Right.
and we're really proud of that, and we've seen our guests really respond to that. So for us, we got to make sure we've got different products and what you can get other places, and because we sell food, it's got to taste good.
So how are you thinking about the further evolution of, especially food? I think that's been a consistent theme here, is like the QSR style food, not just, the grab and go from the deli and expanding that, but how are you thinking about like your unique Coborn's angle on the right, like food that's ready to eat?
Yeah, our fastest growing categories are meal-based categories.
Okay.
So meal solutions for folks. We sell a lot of ready-to-heat things, options you can take home and throw in the oven and it's ready in 5 minutes, or things that you take out of the deli, as you mentioned. We're trying to take that to the next level.
Oh, really?
State-of-the-art flagship store that will soon break ground, and really trying to up our game.
Okay.
And really make sure we can win not just those food to take home, but also food to consume on premises, more restaurant quality food. Really that's the direction we're headed, because that's what we think our industry needs to do. And we really do believe that, not just for us, but for total grocery, we're at our best when we innovate and we find new ways to deliver against what our guest needs. And so that's what we're trying to do at our new store, and hopefully that will spin off some ideas that we can put across the rest of our fleet.
Yeah.
So,
David, where is that new store?
it's going to be in Plymouth, Minnesota, which is a suburb of Minneapolis, St. Paul. What we liked about Plymouth was really strong, strong population, really strong income, good education levels, lots of families, lots of empty nesters, and really good vehicular daytime traffic. It's part of a mixed-use development, so we're going to have a lot of morning, noon, and night. Grocery lives on traffic, so if we can get a store that has traffic morning, noon, and night, that is pretty much nirvana for any grocer.
Nice,
so,
nice. And take us as much as you can inside that store. What's going to be different about it?
I can't give you all the details, but I'll say this: we definitely want to. We're part of a giant development. There'll be a big city park there. We want to make sure we, first of all, respect the city we're in, the town we're in, the environment we're in. We're going to have a big recreational area across the street. We want to make sure we really maximize that. There's a lot of housing units that are under construction nearby, apartments. There's other people who live in single-family homes, and so we're really thinking hard. We have actually talked to 65 different shoppers that live within a mile of the store, or that will live around the mile of the store. So we've tried to really do our homework to make sure we understand what are the unmet needs, and how do we design an offering, whether it's our core grocery store offering, whether it's our liquor offering, or whether it's in the meal space. How do we really design around what those needs are and work our tail off to make sure we execute them at the absolute highest level we can? Great tasting product, great service, great experience.
So are you leaning into food service then, given what you said in the past?
Yeah, we definitely need to win more of those occasions. I think grocery as a whole, as an industry, there's a new QSR that pops up every other day, DoorDash, Uber Eats, all enable all these restaurants to crop up, and I think that's a great thing. We need to really think about how we up our game to make sure we can get a piece of that. I think us as an industry, that's what we have to do over time.
Yeah.
So.
Well, David, when you think about technologies that are out there to further enhance both the food service component of the business, but then in other areas of the store, and especially in operations, given your role, what are some of those technologies that kind of come to the fore for you that you're looking very closely at right now?
Yeah, a couple of things. First of all, I told Anne yesterday, I'm like, this is actually it's a little secret. This is one of the things I really love at working at a smaller company. I've worked for big companies in the past.
Yeah.
We're still a bit, we're a bigger independent, but we're a couple $1 billion. But, we do have to rely on technology providers. We're not a build-your-own type of shop.
Right.
And that's one of the funnest things about this job. It's about really going and finding the industry best and figuring out how we put those together in a strategy and a roadmap. The first thing we do when we evaluate any technology is the guest-facing part of it. So the first thing we did was actually re-platform our e-commerce website, because that was a very consumer-facing thing. So we're kind of working our way back in the value chain. But actually, we've had some really good conversations with a company like Simbe, because one thing that we're trying to do is we have stores really across the 6-state footprint. We can't be everywhere at any given time. And so one of the things that their technology provides is the ability to have eyes on our stores that are in further out locations to make sure we can support those stores with what they need to make sure we're delivering a great experience. So we're going to look at all sorts of stuff, either very, very functional based things, as well as newer and more emerging technologies that we can use to serve our guests more effectively.
So David, you just finished up year 1 on the job. I'm curious, what were your priorities when you took the role, and now as you go into year 2, have those shifted at all, or have they remained the same?
Yeah, a little bit of build on. I would say, it's kind of like you're walking up the steps. So step 1 was, first of all, come in, get to know the team. As I said, our team is our, one of our secret weapons. So making sure that we protected our very strong culture, that we nurtured that culture, add some new talent to that group of folks. We've got a great team in place that's ready now to take us to the next level, and we're really focused on 3 things. First of all, 1, making sure we get as much as we can out of our core grocery business, really making sure our assortments are exciting, that we're differentiating, that we're offering great value to the consumer. The second thing is really finding new ways to grow through building new stores that are maybe a little different than what we built in the past. We'll continue. We traditionally acquired and acquired other smaller independents. We're going to continue to do that. And then the third piece of it is we're actually finding some good success growing our non-food business. We have a very large liquor business. We're actually the biggest seller of liquor in the upper Midwest. We see a big opportunity to grow that business and offer more points of difference there, along with some other kind of complementary categories.
Like, what are those categories, David?
Well, we've actually tried to, pet is an emerging business. I'm sure you've had people on your podcast talking about the pet business. It just, that sucker won't slow down.
Yeah, right. Yeah. The recession-proof business of all time.
Pets are eating better than humans nowadays in some cases, and so of course, many of the brands that will sell to a grocery store are a specific set of brands, and they're not always the brands where that our guests are seeking out.
Right.
And so, as an example, we're testing a franchised pet concept called Pet Supplies Plus. They're an operator that franchise that concept. It's a small format pet store. And our thought is that we could potentially locate these adjacent to our grocery stores, and that would give us a couple of things. One, it would give us a new profitable business, and the second thing is that it would help bring new guests into our grocery store.
Interesting.
When they're there getting their pet needs taken care of. So we're testing that right now in a location. We're encouraged by the early results, but we're going to continue to get scrappy and look for opportunities to say, how can we serve our guests in new ways?
Right.
And you're looking at home improvement too, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah. We own a number of Ace hardware stores that we franchise. That's a real good business. It's been, if you follow Ace's results, they've actually been one of the better performers in the home improvement space.
Right.
Again, we find that if a town needs a hardware store, it's a great complementary business for us, and brings people into the grocery store, as well as is a good business on its own.
Right.
So as you look to close out the year, how are you going to define success? What does success look like for you in year 2?
Well, I think continuing to see which they are, continuing to see our same-store sales continue to grow, and our trends
that's great.
continue
Congrats.
to improve there. And, that's priority 1. Priority 2 is really making sure we're certified best place to work, that we continue to be a employer of choice for our team members. And that's something we take very seriously. And 3 is that we continue to push the bounds of delivering new programs, new ideas, new flavors of donuts, new flavors of sandwich, new all sorts of new offerings.
Well, I don't know. You're
taste
selling
great
65,000 donuts.
I know,
a day. I don't know if you need to change that
we
one.
will find a way to sell more. You can always sell more, Chris.
I'm coming to you for the ski race
always
next
put the cream in the donut.
Yeah.
Yep. So.
We'll have to check out that new store too, man, when it opens.
Absolutely.
Yeah. When does it open roughly?
We're looking at either late 25 or early 26 opening. We haven't pinpointed exactly, but we want to get it right. But we'd love to have you out.
Yeah, love to see it. Love to see it.
Well, David, thank you so much. We really appreciate you taking the time with us. Thank you again to all of you who followed us along on this journey of several interviews over the course of the last 48 hours. And thanks again to Simbe for hosting us here and for their support of all of the content that we brought you here at FMI. So until the next conference, Chris.
Be careful out there.